I booked my ticket on Cunard's Queen Mary 2's transatlantic crossing, and I'm leaving in about a week. Hi, I'm Chet. I became a dentist and then I did my MBA in finance. And on my channel, I speak mostly about lifestyle from the perspective of a solo Gen Xer. I usually speak about personal finance and investing, and this one is about traveling. But of course, money plays a big role in it too. So wait for that. What is the Queen Mary 2 transatlantic crossing? Well, it's just that. The Queen Mary 2 is an iconic ocean liner, one of a kind, and quite the experience to travel between New York City and Southampton. This is supposed to be reminiscent of the Roaring Twenties, where this was the only way to travel. So the ship is, the interior design of the ship is Art Deco. It's very, dare I say, fancy, but it's supposed to be of a certain stature. So there are a few reasons why I am taking this trip. There are definitely those who would not enjoy this, and those would be if you have a bunch of kids. If you have a bunch of kids who need constant entertainment and attention, this may not be for them, unless they're like the Von Trapp kids. If you don't like to dress up, maybe this is not for you. Yes, their dress code has apparently been relaxed, but this is a whole vibe, right? And some of us would like to, I suppose, travel with like-minded people, but of course, they have evenings of smart attire. If you're too casual, you may not be able to go to all of the venues, from my understanding. Now, this is a transatlantic crossing. There are no ports of call. We're in the middle of the ocean. If you need zip lining, rock climbing, a slide into a pool, this is not that kind of ship. The entertainment is of more erudite, with lectures or lessons, maybe how to watercolor paint, maybe how to ballroom dance, play bridge. These are things that I've heard online, right? Once I decided to do this, and how I even heard about it was I was influenced by Gary Bembridge on Tips for Travelers, and saw one of his videos about the Queen Mary 2, and when he said you had to dress up, that was the selling point for me. Anyway, some of the reasons why it made sense to me is, first of all, I was going to India to begin with. I had plans to go January 2026. And as it so happens, when I'm looking into one of my trips, I'm already thinking about the next vacation. And this idea came in my horizon. Looking into it, sounding a little bit interesting, and also hearing that the best time to go if you want calm waters is during the summer months, because it is the North Atlantic and it can get very, very rough. So I was looking at the dates, but there happened to be dates that coincide with the disembarkation, very convenient to when I need to go to India. I have a particular event. I'm going for my college reunion. So then I was like, well, it's an adventure. So I hope the waters are pretty rough. When my dad first immigrated to the US, well, before he immigrated, he came here for residency, and he had come by one of the merchant marine ships, and he had said the Arabian Sea was fine, The Suez Canal and the Mediterranean was fine, but once they hit the Atlantic, he really felt it and didn't feel so good. So let's see how it is for me. I bought some Dramamine anyway. So the timing really worked out. Now, when I go to India, I'm usually in a rush to get there. I'm in a unique situation right now where I have the time and I have the money to make a little holiday in getting to India to begin with. And my round trip ticket budget is usually about $6,000. It could be $4,000, it could be $6,000, but that is my budget. So this holiday within the holiday is it can work within that budget, and I'll talk about that the amount that it is now. They have different fares on Cunard. They have the Queen's Grill, the Princess Grill, the Balcony Grill, and the Britannia Club, and then the rest of us plebes. And then a little maybe lower than that. So the Princess Grill, the Queen's Grill, the Princess Grill, they're suites, and they're named after the dining room selection that you have. So those are suites, big size staterooms, and they're special dining rooms, but not too many sections in the ship that are reserved just for them. Just a couple of them. So if you ask me, maybe not too many perks. But I believe they have their butler. They have a concierge service. They have other little perks. And probably fancier menu. The balcony level is a little bit lower than that. I could be mistaken. It could be a balcony club. And then the Britannia Club, which is, I think they have their separate room. Now, in the plebe section, you have a fare where you can choose your stateroom, or you have a saver fare where I suppose it's like you'll get assigned which one. Now, when I started going down a rabbit hole of what to do, it was very clearly said, do not get one of those low rate ones where you can't choose your room, because you might end up sleeping next to the engine or underneath the dance floor or something of that nature. So make sure you have a choice. So I paid a little extra for that, and here, make sure your passport, wherever you're going to, is not going to expire within 6 months. India has a rule that you cannot enter the country if your passport's going to expire. So I had to send my passport to renewal, and I knew that. I knew that going in. So the fare that I ended up choosing had to be what was available at the lowest rate that I could. Is an obstructed, they call it an obstructed view, but what it is, it's a sheltered balcony. It's a balcony room that's cut out of the hull, and it's not a porthole, but it's like a window cut out, and I believe the window is open. So it's a sheltered balcony. Considering that it is going to be in January in the North Atlantic, I would have been okay if there was some glass there. So I don't know how much use that is going to be for me, but I suppose it'll be nice to have some view, a room with a view. So that fare, and I'm also adding a shuttle from Southampton to London Heathrow for my onward flight. which is $90. So the shuttle plus the fare is $2,291. Gratuities are standard, and this is not to be confused with the gratuities in the bars and restaurants. This is only for the rest of everything. I shouldn't say only, but the rest of everything. I suppose the housekeeping and things of that nature. For my cruise, at this time, it is $17 a day, which is $136 for 8. I'm calculating that as 8 times. The Uber to the Brooklyn Pier looks to be it's going to be around $100. And I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I watched another influencer, Tips for Travelers, and they definitely recommended doing a lunch and learn. So pre-booking that is $81, and that's going to be 8 wines. I don't know how big the pours are, but 8 wines and the lunch and learn. I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please. I'm not going to avail of a drinks package. What they have, that's $600. About $72 a day, $79 a day, which is aggressive. And that includes the 15% gratuity in the bar, in your bar tab. So I'm giving myself a budget of about $60 a day, which is about 52 plus gratuity of 15% plus a little more. So $60 a day, $480 budget for my extra drinks. That's a little aggressive, I think, for alcohol for me, but this could be like a hot chocolate at Sir Samuel's or a cappuccino if I feel like it. You'll get the standard tea and coffee along with your fare, but if you want something a little more, you have these options too. So I'm gonna give myself a budget. I haven't really decided if that $81 in the lunch and learn is going to be a part of that $480. I haven't decided yet, but on a day that I drink 8 glasses of wine, which might end up being a glass and a half of an actual pour, I may not really go hard on the alcohol after that. So all of that I just listed is $3,088, which is about $442 a day. And the way I look at it is like somebody like me is really into all of these lectures. These lectures are from maybe ex-politicians or artists, and the artists, they could be actors, they could be painters, they could be writers. They're artists, architects, so things of that nature. And there's a planetarium. There's a library. There's things to do. There's things to do. The destination is the ship. $442 a day isn't cheap, but that's room and board and entertainment and events going on that are inclusive. I'm not taking part in a lot of extra things, one of which is they have specialty dining. I'm a vegetarian, so the specialty dining is usually if you have a more varied palate, and so it's not very interesting for me, but I did take a look at what was available. There's an Italian restaurant, La Piazza, but there is an all day, I think, pasta and pizza place if I'm really getting hankering. Other than that, I live in Jersey. Not that I wouldn't like to have had Italian food, a specialty Italian food. I'm sure it's lovely, but maybe not this time. Uh, but to finish the thought, I live in Jersey. I have great Italian food here. Another restaurant is Coriander, which is an Indian restaurant. I'm on my way to India, and I'm sure this ship is going to be filled with Indian food one way or another, or there's going to be Indian chefs. And I've found at different resorts throughout the world that Indian chefs are very accommodating and very friendly about that. So we'll see. I don't usually do cruises, and this is not a cruise. This is a crossing, not to be confused with a cruise. I'm not a cruise girl, so I don't have much experience in this world. This is unique. This is different, and I get to dress up. So it's really I've gotten the bug. It's bitten me. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've got Dramamine. Let's hope that I can handle everything. And this is the pre-embarkation video. I'll be making other videos regarding what I'm packing and what I've been doing to keep myself busy and different tips along the way. See you later. Thanks.